The show of Indigenous dance theatre in Australia as world-class, Bangarra opening for a series of activities in the framework of the celebration of 4 years of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Australia from 1973 to 2014 took place at the Opera House in Hanoi. Among the performing artists to Vietnam this March, including Stephen Page, art director of Bangarra Theatre, who was attached to the Opera House more than 20 years, as dozens of dance choreography to make a name Bangarra. Stephen is a descendant of the Nunukul and ethnic Mudadio of Tribo Uyambel, living in the southeast Queensland. He is director of the anti-Aboriginal performing arts in the opening and closing of the Sydney 2000 Olympics. Under the leadership of Stephen, Bangarra created great reputation in the region and internationally. Theatre has won prestigious awards such as the Huffman 2011 for Best New Australian Work, Excellent Choreographic Works, Place Artist Skill, the Huffman 2004 as a Dance of Excellence for Marty Bush, Marthy Nam 2009, also won the same title with Choreographer for Excellence. Stephen Page itself last year received a Nigel Artist of the Year for outstanding contributions to improve the lives and promote the cultural values of Indigenous Australia. His brother David Page is the main songwriter of Bangarra Theatre.
Hello, you're watching Shine Vietnam, a 15-minute talk show daily on NetViet VTC10. I'm Van Hiệp speaking from Hanoi. And in today's program, we are very happy to have the participation of Mr. Stephen Page, the director of Bangarra Dance Theatre in Australia. Hello, Mr. Stephen Page, and welcome to Vietnam this time. So how are you today?
I'm good. Very good, yeah.
So, Mr. Stephen, we'd like to know, is this the first time that you come to Vietnam? And how is your impression or the feelings when coming to Vietnam this time?
This is Bangarra Dance Theatre's first time, my first time to Vietnam and to Hanoi. We love coming to especially countries in Asia because there's a similarity in the cultures. Storytelling and dance and music is very big in Vietnamese culture. It's also very big in Indigenous Australian culture.
Can you review a bit about the dance project Spirit, which the Indigenous dance group will perform in Vietnam this time?
Yes, Spirit is a production that draws on many different excerpts from all our creative works over the last 24 years, especially 5 productions, and it draws on traditional Aboriginal and traditional Torres Strait Island song, dance, and stories, and it's inspired by those stories, and then it's involved in a contemporary dance theatrical expression. So we take the old traditional, we mix it with the modern movement, and then it becomes one spirit.
The Australian leading Indigenous performance is to kick off a diverse program launched by the Australian Embassy in the capital that marks the 40th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Australia and Vietnam. So could you share more on this visit and your expectation?
Look, I think relationships between Australia and Southeast Asia is very important, and I think 40 years diplomatically, the arts is always a great way to celebrate that relationship. And so for Bangarra Dance Theatre, we're the only contemporary Indigenous performing arts company in Australia working full time. So every time they want to have a celebration, they call, they invite Bangarra to represent the country with its fusion of the traditional and the contemporary. Look, as I said before, I hope that the coming together of non-Indigenous and Indigenous cultures working in one country, that we bring that spirit to Vietnam, to Hanoi, and hopefully people can feel that spirit or that connection to the dance and the story. But it's mainly about the spirituality, which is very strong in Vietnamese culture.
And what do you think about the performances of the Vietnamese students who joined the workshop earlier?
Yes. Yeah, look, I mean, they're aware. They learn classical ballet, they learn contemporary dance, they learn the same disciplines as my dancers learn in the modern world. We were able to teach them just a little bit of the Aboriginal traditional dance and the Torres Strait Island traditional dance. So I think because a lot of their traditional dance as well is very grounded to the ground, there's a similarity. So there's a natural connection to the ground and the land. So it was just great seeing them quickly pick up the movement and mimic the movement.
Cái bài tập ngày hôm nay mà em được các anh chị ở bên Úc truyền đạt lại thì nó khá là mới mẻ. Mà với chúng em thì đây là lần đầu tiên chúng em làm về cái loại hình mà thổ dân mà lại về một cái mới lạ như thế. Thì đây cũng là một cái rất là thú vị để cho mình tìm hiểu và học hỏi thêm. Em có một cái cảm giác là rất là gần gũi. Và thứ hai là rất là cởi mở. Cách người ta truyền đạt rất là dễ hiểu. Và cuốn mình đi theo những cái động tác mà người ta truyền đạt lại cho mình.
We are looking forward to be performing here for the audience here in Vietnam. And yes, we travel the world to share the spirit with the other part of the world. My story, my dance, my songline, from where I come from. I know I can't bring all my families with me to perform this spirit with me, but I'm part of sharing the story with the people right across the world and sharing my history, my story, my songline, my dance.
Bangarra Dance Theatre is a performing art theatre leading Aboriginal Australia, famous theatre in the country through the dance with both spirit of traditional culture with modern storytelling way. Each year, Bangarra has more than 110 performances in remote areas, most remote in Australia as well as overseas. Theatre has toured many parts of the world in Europe, Asia, North America, and this is the first time to Vietnam. On the occasion of the 4th anniversary of diplomatic relations ceremony between the two countries. Bangarra will bring to Vietnam to experience is 75 minutes in length, with the participation of 13 dancers. Spirit is the crystallization from 5 classic dance theatre, what is essence the most characteristic for Bangarra, fusion of traditional dance and contemporary dance, dance to express the connection between the soul of the land and the people living on it. Rework in the nightlife the indigenous people from afternoon went out to the first time pink fingers of draw dawn.
Could you please tell us more about the history and the development of the Barbara's Dance Theatre Company?
Yeah, we're in our 24th year. It was founded in 1989 from an Indigenous dance college. There was a Indigenous dance college that started in the early mid-70s, and by the end of the 80s, they thought that it was that a professional dance company was needed. So Bangarra was birthed in 1989. We've been going for 24 years. We have dancers that are from Indigenous background from all over the country who have been trained in modern dance, classical, as well as traditional Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island dancing. With all those different styles, that creates a unique style for the choreography. And we draw on many different stories from all over the country to tell our stories.
So what about the history of forming the Australian Indigenous Dance Group?
Indigenous culture you got to remember, Indigenous Australian Aboriginal culture is 40,000 years old. So it's lots of mythology, lots of creation stories. Traditional song and dance and stories have been a huge part of Indigenous life for thousands of years. Today we interpret a contemporary expression of that.
Can you elaborate more on the differences in the way of dancing Indigenous dance group compared with other types of dancing?
Well, I think what makes us unique and different is with the traditional inspired stories, the traditional movement, and then there's contemporary movement that come together and fuse and create a unique style. So that's what probably sets us apart from a lot of different contemporary dance companies in Australia, that we embrace the old and the new.
Is this Indigenous dance similar to traditional dance of Australia?
In this production spirit, you will see traditional Aboriginal dance. You'll also see contemporary Indigenous inspired dance from those traditions. So you'll see the two different styles within the production.
And this time coming and performing in Vietnam, what is your expectation to the Vietnamese audience?
Well, I hope they like it. Look, I think the evolution of traditional culture in most Indigenous cultures is respected, and we just would like to respect our traditions through song and dance, and hopefully maintain the integrity of those traditions in a modern world.
And before ending the program today, would you like to say something to the Vietnamese audience who is watching the program now?
What would I say? Thank you for letting us come to your country and letting us come to tell our stories and our dance stories on your country.
And once again, thank you very much, Mr. Stephen, for joining our program today. We hope that you enjoy your time in Vietnam.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And with that, we have to wrap up our program for today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write us at sharingvietnam@gmail.com. And once again, I'm Văn Hiệp. Bye for now.
Xin cảm ơn biên tập viên Văn Hiệp và ông Stephen Pace về câu chuyện thú vị vừa rồi. Và tiếp theo chương trình, mời quý vị và các bạn cùng gặp lại biên tập viên Khánh Long để đến với câu chuyện hội nhập ngày hôm nay.
Cảm ơn biên tập viên Hồng Giang. Thưa quý vị và các bạn, Quảng Ninh đang mong muốn cơ bản trở thành tỉnh công nghiệp theo hướng hiện đại vào năm 2015. Nhưng để làm được việc đó, trước hết địa phương này cần phải hoàn thành chương trình mục tiêu quốc gia về xây dựng nông nghiệp nông thôn. Quá trình xây dựng này ra sao, chúng ta sẽ cùng tìm hiểu trong tiết mục Việt Nam hội nhập và phát triển bền vững ngày hôm nay.